Hello, and welcome to this video on the USIP OSP. This is the third video in the series and will focus on the instructor's experience during an online roleplay. This is a very important video for instructors and facilitators to watch. I want you to watch this so you can easily kick off new simulations. There is a secret code at the end of this video that will give your organization a 10% discount on simulation server hosting. And by the way, fast forwarding to the end is considered cheating. Simulations have been created by C-Change Simulations. The USIP OSP is open source software free for anyone to use. Getting started, feel free to contact client services at cchangesimulations.com. In this video, we discuss the three main perspectives that people bring to the open simulation platform when they use it. In the previous video, we discussed the player's perspective. Today, we will focus on the instructor's perspective and experience. We will describe what an instructor must do to initiate a simulation, facilitate it, and monitor it. This to ensure that all of the students have excellent learning outcomes. So let's log on to the platform and get started. We're going to log on as teacher at C-Change Simulations. And we are immediately presented with two options, to go in as an instructor and to go in as a player. Now, the teacher / instructor / facilitator may go in as either of those two options. We're going to discuss those in greater detail. We're going to go in as an instructor because we are doing the administrative logistics of creating a simulation. While we're running a simulation and giving the players their good learning experience, we may log on as a facilitator and go into the player section. I know this is confusing. Important to understand we're going to the platform and what you're doing. Right now we're doing logistics, so instructor. When you're doing player, think facilitator, because there you're going to be facilitating them through a simulation. So as an instructor, and we see that on our dashboard we have the results of our previous simulation. We see that people have logged on to our previous simulation. The dashboard that you see when you log on, and it holds the most recent information for you. We are now located in the Home tab on the front page of the instructor login. Let's walk through the different tabs and we'll come back and kick off a simulation. The tab is where we will have all of the simulations on this platform shown. Right now there's only one simulation loaded on this platform. It is a simulation for demonstration purposes. Your university may well have many simulations listed here. Right now we only have one. We have My tab, which lists all of the simulations where we are actor, meaning administrative control over who is in the simulation and what they're doing. And then we have all the simulations where we are a player. Exclusive lists. It can be in one and not the other. We can be an instructor and not a player, and we can be a player and not an instructor, if that makes sense. We also have Miscellaneous Tools tab, where we can do interesting things like add a different instructor to our simulations, find students, register students, and things like that. We're not going to cover that here today, but this is where the more advanced administrative tasks are taken care of. Let's go back to our Library tab. Here to kick off our simulation. When we kick off a simulation, all we need to do is give it a name. Class 101. So we'll type Class 101 and hit submit. It could be easier. Now we see the scheduling information. The author or authors have left scheduling information for the simulation. We copy and paste that and modify it as we like. Our own particular set of students. It kind of gets to the fact that left for the students by the authors of the simulation, and there's left by instructors of the simulation. And so those might be very different. The simulation could be created by some organization very far from you, that you're using in your class, and you have to tailor that to meet the specific needs of your students. Here in the schedule information, you may put what exact times they're going to be playing, how much credit they're going to get, and things like that. There's actually an additional functionality now where you can create one element to contain all the schedule information and introduction information, but we're not going to get into that today. But what we understand here is that what you're putting here is your scheduling information for your students. Now we come to the very important and interesting page where you're going to assign roles. And you're going to assign your human students to particular roles in the simulation. You're going to student John Doe is going to be the leader, etc. This particular simulation, we just have Mr. Orange control Mr. White, Mr. Pink, and Mr. Blonde. However, what simulation it is, you're going to be assigning your user. Okay, so let's assign some people some roles in the simulation. We will make Miss Teacher the control person. You know, I just had an epiphany while making this video that we should really call this person the facilitator, because what they're doing is facilitating the students through their simulation. So I think for the 10% discount code, we put the word epiphany because it was an epiphany during the making of this video that we should refer to the control person as the facilitator because they are facilitating. So haha to the people who fast forward to the end to get the discount code, because you watch this entire thing, that the code is really the word epiphany to get 10% off of simulation server hosting. Okay, so we've got everyone added as the human added as their different roles in the online role play, and we will move on to the next step. This down here, by the way, will take us down up to the Mr. Checklist, but we're going to move on, forge ahead right to the next step, which is to enable the simulation. And so for class 101, we will enable that simulation and move on to the step, which is to notify people that they've been added to that simulation. So here we have a list of all the student names and which actor they are playing and their email addresses and whether or not we want to send them an email. And a little bit below we have the generic email that can be edited, except don't edit the stuff inside the brackets, telling them that they've been put to a simulation. And as soon as we hit email, it will send out emails to everybody. Then the fact that we've sent emails out to people and them will be down below as shown here. So click on and go back to the Home tab. In the dashboard, the simulation that we just initiated, we see that everybody's been invited and they've confirmed that they've received the invitation and actually logged in. This status symbol will go from the red to green. You want everybody green here to indicate that they've actually logged on to the simulation. So this is a place where you can look at your simulation and see who's actually logged into it, and you can actually see, you know, example information on when the players have logged in and things like that. So you can look at the player's profile. So this is kind of the /facilitator's dashboard. What we're going to do now, though, is log out and log in as a player, as control/facilitator player. Okay, so right now we've been doing the logistics, and we've been doing it as the instructor. Let's go back in now. And we're back here again, but now we'll log on as a player. We can see that the teacher, Mr., is enrolled in two different simulations. The one we were just working on was Class 101, and we're control/facilitator person. So we'll click play there. And no one has logged on yet, but we're the first people in. And see the different tabs that we'll have, that we've created. Will be familiar to you from the on the player's perspective. So I have all this information, and additionally, this control tab over here. Now, this is something new we haven't talked about before. This is where The facilitator controls the action. This is where you have the ability to send out announcemements to people and to change the phase of the simulation. You can actually also become anybody in the simulation and pretend to be them if you want to be. Right? So these are tools at the facilitator's disposal. You push out injects, you can review which injects have been sent. We're not going to go into the details, but when you're facilitating a simulation, you can look around here and see important things to do. One of the most important things to do is to change the phase. Simulators have different phases that they're in, and each phase the players may have different abilities, different tabs available to them that they can either see or do different things. So to this video on the instructor's tasks, we're going to show you how to change the phase. So we say change phase, we're going to email the players too. That sometimes makes it take a little longer because they have to has to send out emails to everybody. Okay, but the phase changed, so the phase changed for everybody, and everybody has a different set of abilities right there. This concludes the introductory video on the instructor tasks, and we hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at clientservices@seachangesimulations.com. We really want this tool to get out there and in the hands of many, many instructors, so we will do whatever it takes to help you move ahead and forward with this. But if you fast forwarded the video to get the code, we buried it inside the video, so you're going to have to watch the entire video to get it. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we look forward to